So we've been digging deep and seeing past the spiritual veil, seeking um, deep answers. And again, looking beyond that spiritual veil, trying to find that inner truth, and like God really bringing us to a complete standstill in order for us to be able to dig deep on the inside of ourselves to find those answers and to heal from certain traumas and getting the nostalgia of childhood. Even this all goes like really deep, really deep into childhood wounds and childhood memories, and really seeing the roles that were played. It goes all the way back to that point. There's been a deep healing, a deep, um, excuse me, um, it's like getting to know ourselves on a deeper level. And in order for us to understand where it is that we're going, we have to be able to finish putting those pieces of the puzzle together and gain that strength and gain that wisdom from circumstances that worked and circumstances that didn't work, and understanding the highs and the lows and our roles that we played in these situations. So anyways, we're laying down our defenses as we begin to understand, the reasons behind why we were left out in the cold. The fact that, certain offers were supposed to come through and those offers never showed up. So we're standing back and we're evaluating, our investments, looking at life from a long term view, um, looking at the sustainable results that we have poured in, um, everything that we've invested in and what we got out of it. Nine of Cups, the Death, the Chariot. Let me get one more. Page of Pentacles. So again, we were hoping on wish fulfillment, but instead, we gained death to the situation. And now it's like we have no choice but to move forward. So again, now we're just in that evaluation phase. And we're almost at the beginning, almost at a complete new beginning of gaining something completely fresh and new. Temperance. It's been a long road to getting to where we're at right now. And we've been waiting on the right person to come in and take action. Yeah, we've been indecisive on what it is that the path that we're trying to make. Six of Cups in the reverse with the Emperor, Page of Wands in the reverse with the Devil. So it's like what we thought was a happy home, what we thought was a good situation, really ended up being the devil. And we have the Emperor here. This could be a father figure, mother figure. This could be anyone who, was again in charge. This is a person that is supposed to be respected in leadership, stable, structured, follows rules and power, authority, protection, control, disciplined, and practical. But again, it coming out with the devil, it shows that this person, really was, the opposite of that. Um, Came with different addictions and codependencies and toxicity, materialism. And this is what's been coming out a lot as well, is destructive behavior, temptation, um, which is materialism has been coming out a lot. The reason why certain authority figures have not been able to move certain projects forward is because of their love of money, the selfishness behind being willing to give, um, to be able to mentor in the correct manner and feel like they can put another, you know, someone under them into a role or a position of authority without feeling like their authority is being trumped in some kind of way. That's just like what I've been getting a lot lately. But anyways, let's look at this 10 of cups. So anyway, with the 10 of cups and the 6 of cups in the reverse and temperance, again, it's like we were involved in certain situations for so many different years. I mean, so many years that we tried to stick in there. It's like we tried to keep the situation balanced. And we poured everything we could into it to really just end up juggling and not really not receiving anything. The sun. Yeah. So the sun is illuminating. The sun is coming in to illuminate the truths, to shine light on the darkness, to really allow us to see where we've been held captive by the devil. Um, the devil is codependency. It's not it could be us even like deceiving ourselves or allowing others to deceive us in ways of, you know, things being kept under the surface. And it's like even though we know that certain things are intuitively wrong, not really paying attention long enough to put our finger on some solid evidence and convincing ourselves that there's nothing wrong. Um, yeah, it's being deceptive, but it's the sun coming in to shine light. It's us looking at with our intuition these collaborations in order to understand the direction that we need to head in. But what I'm seeing right now, though, is that these towers are falling as this information is coming in. As these truths are revealed, there's structures that will not be able to be rebuilt. Um, Certain situations have caused an unrest. People who were, able to make certain moves of action toward, the betterment of all, the prosperity of all, um, held back out of selfishness, out of greed, out of envy, or just simply not wanting to see anyone rise above them. Um, but again, like they say, a perfect leader wants to mentor in a way that the follower can eventually step into their purpose and position. So, a true leader teaches in order for the one that they're guiding to at some point be able to hold their own, in order to mentally understand the knowledge that is being taught, in order for them to be able to stand on their own 2 feet, to build a structure so that, the mentor can stand on it, building a platform so that the mentor can stand on their own 2 feet and handle the company at some point, and not, you know, purposely like keeping the mentor below the knowledge level in order to keep them an employee. You know what I'm saying? That's the way to explain it. It's like at some point, the employee wants to become a boss. A good boss puts the one that's being mentored, in a position to be able to succeed. And so this is what I've been getting in order to try to explain what's going on, is that at some point the torch has to be passed down. And that is the job of the emperor, is to know that at some point his crown has to be passed down to the next generation. His wand has to be passed down to the next. So let's see what the sun is shining on right now. So the sun is shining on the Queen of Cups, Eight of Swords, and the Hierophant. So there have been rules of religion and institutional knowledge that has been used in order to keep people trapped in their head, um, keep them mentally bound, which is the Eight of Swords, because it came out in the reverse. Keeping people feeling trapped or isolated or in some type of victim mentality. Um, let's see, one second. Yeah, making a person feel like imprisoned and restricted, um, versus being free. Using rules and religion in order to keep someone mentally bound, by false knowledge, um, versus allowing a person to be free. You're going to continue to lie to them and convince them that they are less than, which is pretty much in a way, like hiding their light from them so that they can't see who they are. So they can't bloom and blossom and become everything that it is that they're meant to become. So now we have Eight of Cups. But I'm going to get back to this Queen of Cups because I know I didn't really, that I didn't clarify that. But with the Devil and the Queen of Cups, this is also what keeps coming out here before I get to the next card, is that with the Sun, the Devil, the Queen of Cups, this is a person who continues to act as if they're supportive, loving, caring, genuine, stable, um, intuitive, healing, nurturing, calm, and comforting, and compassionate. These are people who, pretend to support you. These are people who, say they love, say they care about you. But yet, the energy the energy is just simply not lining up with what you're being told. It's kind of like, being promised, a raise and you never get a raise. Yet, it's hanging on to false promises. It's illusion. It's, the light is being shown on people who are operating in devil energy, yet they're posing as a Queen of Cups full of love and compassion. So, Five of Swords, yeah. Five of Swords, it's in the reverse. This is the past regrets, and resentments. These are people also who see you trying to get ahead, and they develop some type of competition. And this is what's under the surface. This is the real energy that's looming in the air, which is like the elephant in the room, which is what no one wants to speak on, but inevitably it's the truth. Conflict, upheaval, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, abusive relationships. One second. So what's been under the surface is this Five of Swords energy, which is, rivalry, competition, theft. Okay. Theft doesn't just have to be outright stealing something from someone in front of their face so that they can see it. Theft is also, being fake, which is pretending that, you're going to give someone something. You're going to do something for someone. If you just do this, I'll do that, and basically in certain ways it creates chaos in people's lives when they continue to invest in situations that they inevitably just end up coming up shortchanged. You understand? So then their world becomes chaotic because then they become drained and they can't provide for themselves. But yet, again, that elephant in the room, it's like everyone feels it and we're all experiencing the chaos from it, but yet no one's speaking on it. So it just ends up living on. It's like if we don't pay attention to what's really going on and call it what it is, then we're going to continue to live in chaos. And that's, what that 5 of Swords energy is. So anyways, um we're cutting losses. We're cutting our losses at this point, and we have a desire to forgive. Forgiving does not mean that you have to, you know, continue to deal with people or situations that really can't deliver or refuse to deliver on the things that they've continued to say that they would. But, anyways, this card says making amends. Um, Basically, yeah, revenge and remorse. So that's another topic for another day. But anyways, 8 of Cups. We are disappointed. We've been walking, we're disappointed, feeling abandoned. We've been withdrawing, we've been going into escapism, walking away. And at this point, like, we're just willing to leave whatever behind in order to pursue balance, in order to find our peace and find that harvest of. It's kind of like we've been dealing with different energies around us, dealing with what's real from what's fake in order to understand the difference. It's like when a person is saying this or saying that, but what are they showing me compared to what they're saying? What is being shown versus what is being done, and really like learning the difference between the two, because that's how we're learning how to put our finger on the real energy that's present in that moment and learning from our past experiences. So holding on to these situations have kept us in a place where we've been unable to heal. We've constantly been getting our heart broken, and we've been disconnected from reality. We've been living in an illusion, not allowing ourselves to tap into our true intuition of what's really being revealed in the situation. It's like we're holding on to the false promises and the fake smiles versus digging deeper beneath the surface to find the real truth. 1 second. Two of Swords. We're at a point of finding clarity and finally being able to make a decision between two different choices. So again, all of this now information that's coming in with this 8 of Wands, we have the 8 of Wands with all this information coming in. We have this Devil in the reverse. Again, it's finding that devil. It's exposing that. It's truly understanding what that devil is in your life. All of these situations have led to the 9 of Swords, which is, turmoil. Turmoil, not being able to sleep at night. And 6 of Pentacles, finding that balance. Finding the balance in the situation. Again, weighing out our options and looking at things for what they are, ripping the mask off of situations, seeing the truth behind these foundations that are, this is the 4 of Wands in the reverse, foundations that are not built on solid ground. Again, foundations that aren't built on solid ground are false promises, people who, talk a good game, but they can't deliver on the things that they say that they're going to do. All the while, basically just, giving you excuses and reasons for why they can't deliver at the end of the day. It's like you can keep doing the work over and over again, and they'll let you put in all the work, but then at the end, you know, basically gaslight you into believing that you were just believing something false all along, and that they never promised you those things. They never, you know, uh, convinced you that they were going to help you in any type of way. That was just you believing that on your own, as an example. But, anyways, looking at the truth from the false, looking at you know, the lie from the truth, finding what's hidden beneath the surface in order to bring that balance back. Like I said, Queen of Pentacles in a reverse, which is a person who's stingy, who doesn't want to share their resources. I mean, finding every reason and excuse not to, but it causing an injustice in our lives, putting us in a position to where we're not able to heal, not able to move forward, not able to look within, because we're caught up in the illusion of what we feel is really, it's the picture that's being painted to us, and we're believing it. We're believing, you know, the picture that's being painted versus, you know, going with our gut and what our gut is really telling us. Because at the end of the day, I mean, these people have truly been just ignoring the offer. Like, buying time, ignoring the offer, trying to get what they can out of the situation to try to keep the cycle going, pacifying the situation in order to keep us on an endless cycle that we never break free from, because they're benefiting from our energy, from our love. They're benefiting from whatever situation we're in. They're getting, all that good energy from us, and it's helping them to manifest and benefit in their own life in some type of way. But anyway, we got the Lovers with the Page of Swords in the reverse. But again, this person or these people holding back this pentacle, it was like they were supposed to bring the offer in, and they never did, and it caused an injustice in our lives. It caused us to, again, continue to spin our wheels in a situation and continue to burn out our energy while we weren't receiving anything. So then we ended up drained. We got Page of Swords. Okay. So again, Page of Swords in the reverse is all talk, no action, deception, devious, gossip, and bad information. So these people were spying into our lives and getting information in order to figure out how they can continue to hold on to us, as well as keep us tripped up and stuck, so that we don't feel a need to move forward. So they pacified the situation just enough to continue to keep us where we were at until they could no longer do so. Because it was like until we became drained enough and frustrated enough with the situation and began to scratch our heads and say, you know what, like, I'm pouring in all this work and there's nothing being returned to me. Why am I coming up shortchanged and empty handed? I'm scratching my head and I'm trying to understand. But see, with this Page of Cups in the reverse, this is also, it's saying that there wasn't an intention to give. There was never an intention to come through on this offer. Like, they spied into the energy in order to figure out how they could continue to hold on to it without pouring anything into it. So they poured in just enough to keep us holding on in order to keep us just feeling like everything was okay. Five of Cups in the reverse. Pessimism, loss, and grief. But it's in the reverse. We're coming out of that. We've been in sorrow. Um, we've been in sorrow over these situations because some of these situations are near and dear to our hearts. These are people, places, situations that ended in betrayals that we would have never thought. People who we realized that these situations were just one-sided. Knight of Cups in the reverse, Two of Cups, and the Moon. So, being in mourning and regret with these injustices that have happened, the offer, the cup that was supposed to be brought to us never showed up. And again, which is what I just said. The Moon in the reverse is becoming clear about all these different relationships and the fact that we have been in hermit mode, heartbroken over all of these things that we really can't see clearly, but it's like our heart is intuitively knowing what's going on and feeling it. And I feel like it takes the mind time to comprehend what the heart already intuitively knows. So it's like we've been dealing with the pain of the losses and the disappointment, but mentally still trying to figure out what exactly has been happening. What is really going on here? And what's happening is people and situations that we relied upon to come through and be our knight in shining armor and bring this cup, because of the hope and expectation that we've been put in waiting for it, um, ended in a betrayal. But again, this is the thing. It wasn't just a betrayal from one person. We're seeing multiple situations here. Like, this is something that's happened over and over. Like, this is like a cycle that we've been stuck in of constantly being disappointed in situations, work situations, relationships, just everything we're running into has been karmic. Um, it's like the real deal just has not come through yet. And every time we think the real deal is actually here, it ends up actually being false. So we have Six of Wands in the reverse, which is a lack of victory. I'm just going to see real quick what else comes out. How in this Nine of Swords in the reverse, coming out of mental turmoil, no longer being in the illusion. So it was like we had to get our heart broken in order to finally understand that we're living in an illusion. It's like you're dealing with someone who is not who they say they are. And the fact that they are deceptive and materialistic and selfish and stubborn and greedy, but yet they know how to talk a good game and paint a good picture, just to pacify you. It's like you're deceiving yourself by, being a people pleaser. It's like we're not truly feeling into the energy. We're not really seeing past the illusion and allowing ourselves to tap into our intuition on the inside. Like, what is your gut telling you? What is your body telling you? Like, you're listening to what you're being told, but what are you feeling inside? And I think those are the lessons that we're learning here. The Fool. Yeah, so hold on. Man. The Fool with the King of Cups. It's walking away from this fake King of Cups. Plain and simple. A person who continues to put weight and burdens on our backs and calling judgment in the situation and realizing that all these fake promises, these ships that we've been told are going to sail in, things that are going to happen, that, this 10 of Pentacles is going to come in. Realizing, though, that remaining in the situation, not calling judgment, is really taking all of our strength away. Because we're in a situation, becoming more and more hopeless as time goes by. And we're just becoming more and more drained because we're putting our hope in something that, like I said, in people or situations that don't intend on fulfilling these promises. And this is the thing, is that, it's not always that they don't want to. It's just the fact that sometimes people really don't have it to give. If people can't love themselves, they can't love you. If they don't know really in reality how to prioritize themselves emotionally or financially, or they really don't know anything about building a solid foundation, or if they can't do it for themselves, they really can't do it for you. If they don't have certain provisions in their life, when it comes to, discipline, like, they really can't do it for someone else. And so it's not always that the people are being purposely deceptive. It's about the fact that sometimes, there are bad habits that are instilled within cultures and groups and, things of that nature. Like, they're not taught, like, how to become a true success, how to truly mentor the next person coming up in line. Like, they weren't guided in that way, and so they can't. Or the fact that maybe even their values are misaligned. Because again, it's like sometimes people do really put wealth and power and materialism over being a true leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, a true leader itself, like, and the integrity part of it isn't as important, and that's just the truth. And it's about us really just seeing that for what it is and cutting it out in order to not roll over and allow our talents to continue to be hidden under the surface, and not allowing ourselves to dwell in chaos, because our environments become chaotic when we forfeit the blessing